Good evening, everyone. Back again with me, Marcellinus Bhanu. And for today's video, we'll talk about Applied Linguistic Project 1. Um, by the way, I'm Marcel. I'm from class 336807 with my student number is 33220073. And for today, we have two topics to talk about. We will have Applied Linguistic and then its development, how applied linguistic develop from time to time. So, applied linguistic, what is that? Applied linguistic is the study of language in real-world contexts, in which they focusing on practical applications rather than theoretical aspects. It explores how language functions in communications, education, technology, law, and society to solve linguistic challenges, improve language learning, and enhance interaction across different fields. The background of it. So the background of applied linguistics trace back to the mid 20th century, when scholars sought practical applications for linguistic theories, in which initially it focused on language teaching and learning, particularly in second language acquisition. And over time, it expanded to include areas like translation, discourse analysis, forensic linguistic, and computational linguistic, in which the field evolved as a response to real-world language challenges, integrating insight from psychology, sociology, and education to address communication issues in diverse contexts. So, what is the most important characteristic of applied linguistics? First, we have interdisciplinary. It combines linguistic, psychology, sociology, and technology. Next, we have problem solving, in which they focus on real world language issue like teaching and translation. Next, we have real world application, in which they use teaching, translation, uh, forensic analysis, and AI development. So, applied linguistics is the study of language in real world contexts, focusing on practical applications rather than theoretical aspects. It explores how language functions in communication, education and technology, law and society to solve linguistic challenges, improve language learning, and enhance interaction across different fields. Next, the development of applied linguistics, like I already mentioned. So, the applied linguistic is a field dedicated to solving practical language related issues. Using linguistic theories and research, obviously, it has evolved over time, expanding beyond language teachings into areas such as translation studies, forensic linguistics, computational linguistics, and social linguistics. So the first is the early foundations before the 1950s. In the early 1950s, applied linguistics was still emerging as a formal discipline. Linguists were primarily focused on structural analysis, influenced by figures like Saussure, and Bloomfield. However, global demands, especially in language teaching, translation, and diplomacy, pushed the field towards practical applications. Linguistics was initially focused on theoretical analysis, mainly examining the structure and the function of language, and applied linguistics began to take shape in response to the growing demand for effective teaching methods, particularly for foreign language. Next is the emergence of applied linguistics, 1950s to 1970s. During this period, scholars recognized the need for a separate discipline that applied linguistic theories to real-world challenges. Key areas included is first, second language acquisition theories to improve teaching methodologies. Next is the development of structured curricula based on linguistic insights. And the third one is early efforts in computational linguistics, laying the foundations for machine translation. Next, we have the expansion and diversification, 1980s until 2000s. So the applied linguistic broadens its scope, addressing language-related issues in diverse domains. First, Sociolinguistic explore languages variations, dialects, and the social factors influencing communications. Next, we have translation and interpretation studies examining cross-linguistic communications in professional and legal contexts. Last but not least, discourage analysis focus on written and spoken communication across different settings. And for the last part is the modern applied linguistic, 2000s until present. In today's era, applied linguistics is an interdisciplinary field that intersect with technology, psychology, uh, social sciences, and it also came with advancements in which include first artificial intelligence in linguistics, aiding in machine translation, speech recognition, and language processing. Next is the forensic linguistic, helping law enforcement analyze linguistic patterns in criminal cases. Next is multilingualism and language policy, shaping educational frameworks and societal communication strategies. So, the conclusion is the early 50s marked a turning point for applied linguistics, shifting from purely theoretical studies to practical applications. Contrastive analysis and language teaching innovations paved the way for solving real-world linguistic challenges, setting the foundations for the field's expansion into the following decades. So that's all for the presentations for today, and thank you for your attention. Bye bye.